Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is lesson 6-4 for course 2, finding percent of a number. We're going to find and estimate the percent of a number in this section. Okay, again, no new definitions right now, so we're just going to go right into it. Finding percent of a number. If we want to find 80% of 460, there are two different methods. Depending if I'm going to specifically ask for one method or the other, you must do it. Otherwise, you have a choice. One thing I do like is that you do need to know how to work with fractions, because sometimes you will have repeating numbers that are not going to give you accurate answers. So we will talk a little bit more about that statement in class, but let's just go with what we have here. So the first thing I can do, method number 1, is I can write the percent as a decimal. So 80% is 0.8 as a decimal. Remember, I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign. So then I can just, to find the percent, 80% of 460, that's going to be 0.8 of means times in this situation, times 460 gives me 368. Okay. Method number 2 is writing the percent as a fraction. And what I can do here, 80%, remember, is 80 over 100. I'm going to divide each of those by 20 and use the fraction 4/5. You could also use 8/10 if you'd like. Then you could cross cancel. So you do have a little freedom of choice here, but basically what I can do is I can take and use a calculator and either do 4 divided by 5 times 460, or 4 times 460, which is 1,840, and then divide by 5. I get 368. If for some reason you don't have a calculator handy, again, you want to go ahead and use cross products whenever possible. So you have, some options with what you want to do here. However, we do find that in both situations we get the exact same answer of 368. So 80% of 460 is 368. Okay, we're also going to look at a couple of mental math scenarios. And I realize that in this day and age, most of you carry a cell phone with you and go, oh, I'll just use the calculator function. Well, okay, but that doesn't mean we can't also manipulate numbers in our head a little bit, which is what we're going to do in this next example. Find 49% of 300. So here is a thought process, and then we're going to show why it works, okay? So you can think that 49% is 50% minus 1%. So basically, you do 50% of 300, or 0.5, or 1/2 times 300, which is 150. It's probably easier to think 1/2 of 300, because most of us can do 1/2 of 300 in our head. 1% of 300 is 0.01, or 1/100th, times 300, or 3. To multiply by 1/100th, you just move your decimal point 2 places back to the left. So basically, we're going to do 150 then, our two products, 150 minus 3, to get 147. So 49% of 300 is 147. Okay? Not that hard to do with pencil and paper. If, the phone's dead, you've lost it, you broke it, your dog ate it, whatever, you could do this in your head, or very little pencil paper. Now let's go through why it works. And basically it's a second version of this, really, but let's look at it. We can think of, first of all, 49% is the decimal 0.49, or 49/100ths, and we want to multiply that by 300. Instead of 0.49, we can substitute 0.50 minus 0.01. Okay, so, and then we can use the distributive property by taking 0.50 times 300, or 50%, or 1/2 of 300, and getting 150. Again, I'm just distributing. Then my second, 1/100th times 300 is 3. 150 minus 3 is 147. So it works. When you do number 2 in the quick checks here, I would like you to do it with some mental math. Jot down your thought process though, so we can share and explain and look at some ideas on how we can do that. I'm going to continue on though to the next example at this time, and that is estimating percent. Estimate each answer. So we have a couple of situations here. Realize too that when you use estimation, you have some leeway in what you do, but you still want your answer to be somewhat reasonable. So our first one is 70% of 405. Okay, and I think I said 70, it's 76. 76% is very close to 3/4. Remember that 75% is the fraction 3/4. So what I might do is I would change 76% to 3/4 and 405 to 400. In this case, because these are compatible numbers. Okay, so what I can do here now is the 4 and the 400 cross cancel. 400 divided by 4 is 100. 3 times 100 is 300. Quick and easy. So 76% of 405 is about 300. We're not looking for the exact answer, so that's actually a really good, easy, quick way to do that. Okay, another example, 12% of 5,575. Again, I'm going to basically follow the same idea. 12% is about 10%, and 10% is 1/10. 5,575 is about 5,600. Okay, again, I'm using compatible numbers here. So here again, I'm going to cross cancel, and this is going to actually give me 560, because to divide by 10 you just knock off a 0. So 560. Oh, that's an ugly 6, my apologies. So 12% of 5,575 is about 560. Okay. So I would like you to do quick check number 3 using a similar process as I did up here. Write down what you're doing so that if it doesn't make sense, we can talk about it. Please don't always simply rely on the calculator as well. So try to do these with fractions, because I think your life, if you choose your compatible numbers well, they're going to be very easy problems for you. Okay. As always, complete these, bring in your answers, any questions, write down your work so that we know what went wrong if something went wrong, or you know that you in fact did it right. Have a great day. See you.